Ladies and gentlemen, May is upon us. That's right, it is May 1st, 2013. And this is the KNKL Emma stream, day 47, where we learn to make comics, we have a good time, and we join ourselves, we join as a collective in the dojo of Keenan Lafferty as I create Emma, give tutorials, and on Thursdays to talk about life and philosophical things. We sit beneath the bonsai trees and we meditate upon what the existence of our lives mean. But that's not till tomorrow. Today we are going to be working on next month's, or rather this month's, thank you picture. As you know, each month I'm going to start doing this thing where I create a picture for the people that not only read, but also go above and beyond and choose to donate and support Emma, the online comic, as well as the show. And yes, this picture is going to be changing probably, I don't know, maybe in the next couple days. I might be able to have it out by Thursday. But yeah, each month, did I say week? If I said week, I meant month. Each month this picture will change, as well as the names of the people that donated that month, and they will be forever immortalized on the Emma Comic Online website. So yeah, if you guys would like to get your names on next week's picture, which you are going to be seeing right here, this is going to be next week's picture. Just click the link down below, and it'll take you to the donations page. And yes, you'll get like the high-res version of this as soon as it's completed. It's not completed yet, so you might want to wait, actually. But yeah, I'll put your name on it, and then if you donate now, I'll just email the picture to you, the high-res picture. All right. So as you can see, let me go ahead and zoom out so you can actually see everything that we're working on here. So today I had the interesting idea that I wanted to have our three characters going for a walk in the park, right? Because it's May, and you know what you do in May? You go through a stroll in the park. Wait, how does it go? Stroll through the park one day, very early month of May, okay? So that is what I'm playing off of here. So we have our characters strolling through the park, having a good time. And yeah, this has actually been really, really fun working on this morning. And it's just been a nice break from the comic. It's really cool to kind of sit down and just work on something else, you know, besides the comic for a moment. Take a breather, all that good stuff. So yeah, and I don't know, I've just been kind of like noticing that, I don't know, I feel like the life is returning to me. It's like I have post-mortem depression after birthing the comic. And I'm just like, I'm just like depressed. It's like so hard for me to wake up in the morning. I have no purpose in life, but this is making me realize how much I love this comic and I love these characters. So as you can see, yeah, I started kind of like playing around with the tree and stuff over here. And I'll actually show you guys. I was a little bit inspired by what we did yesterday, where I was teaching you guys about gradient maps and all that stuff. And I decided that today I mentioned using photo reference to really help you with your color selection. So I'll show you guys. This is the cool picture of the park. Let me see if I can get that glitch out of there. Okay, there we go. So this is like the picture of the park that I'm kind of basing this off of. You'll notice kind of like the speckle lighting pattern that's happening here on the tree. You know, I'm trying to capture that there. And yeah, it's actually working out pretty well so far. So, but I also want to show you how I started this picture with the gradient map, what my gradient map was. So let's go ahead and take away these things really quick. And you can see this was the gradient map that I began the picture with. So you can see it's all kind of just green, kind of strange looking maybe, you know, and I'll pull this up, right? So I got like this kind of deep, what is this, like a desaturated red for the deepest shadows. Then I go to like this blue, green, then this yellow, and then this blue for the sky, right? So I started with that. Then upon that, I started laying in the different hues and things for the background. So now we're starting to see, like we're adding just those little tints and just little changes to the atmosphere and really giving some life into the picture. And I'm really enjoying it so far. Really liking it. And I'm going to continue to push it even further as I go into the characters and the little bench that's behind them and all that stuff. So, without further ado, let's jump right into where I left off. People! Yes! Yes. Alright. And yes, some of you are noticing that the characters are in slightly different clothes. Emma is in a hoodie, And Nico has like one of those new trendy, they're kind of like hoodies, but they're like big turtleneck things. I don't know. They sell them at Guess. I don't know if any other places have been bold enough to start selling those, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like them. All right, but because it is Emma's hoodie, we must make sure that we give her the proper colors. So let's go ahead and begin that. Let's go ahead and begin throwing in our colors for our characters here. Yes, yes, yes. Wait, why did it pick that color? That's not the color I picked. That's not the color I picked. I want this one. Thank you! Alright. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's throw in these colors, these lovely colors. And I love just like mixing, I love mixing these colors so much, like the blues and the greens. And this is really what I think the magic of the gradient map comes into play here, because you're almost, it almost like puts these colors together and you just look at them differently. You're like, oh wow, I really like how, you know, that green just works with that red. Maybe I'll make the shadows like a slightly more blue and see how that affects it. And just those little things I'm liking so far. So yeah, I'm really liking it. And actually, this has been giving me an idea for a contest that I really want to do. Like if we do an art contest, I want to have like a special theme, like, hey, let's draw the characters outside of the zombie apocalypse, or what they do in their off time, right? Walking through the park, taking buttons on a walk. Over here, as you can see, it is on. For those of you who can't tell what it is, I don't know if you can see it, but he's on like a little RC car thing, and Emma's walking him, and then Nico is controlling it to like move forward. Like maybe he's like tricking Emma into thinking that, well, just I don't know if you guys have actually read the latest part, so I don't want to give that away quite yet. I'll give that a couple more days. It might be a little conspicuous for those of you who have not read the latest part. Go read it now. Stop watching me right now. Go read it. Down in the description. Go there. Go read it. Because then you'll get the joke of what's happening here a little bit more. You will get the humor. That's the important part. But yeah, that's just kind of a funny idea I had, among some other funny ideas I had throughout the day. But yeah, it's just like, I have not had this much fun drawing a picture. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun doing something. It's like making me all giddy, you know? It's like I'm drawing fan art of my own comic and I'm like loving it. It's so funny. I love it. Okay. So I'm thinking about giving her, I'm gonna try giving her like blue jeans. I'm gonna give her like some blue jeans. Let's see how those look. Yeah, I like that. Let's go ahead and desaturate it, because the ground beneath them is going to be kind of like a, it's going to be kind of like a brownish gravel type thing. So naturally that will create a desaturated color on our blue jeans. Yeah, throw a little bit of that in there. Yes! Let's go ahead and do the boots. I'll actually grab some of these colors from the tree. I think those will translate well onto the boots. Oh, I love that. I love that. I just love putting the colors into something that's already kind of colorful, you know, like a deep color. Just like putting this color into it, just like starts to breathe life into it. Well, it's hard to explain exactly what it is, but it's amazing. I feel like I've happened upon the magic. The magic, and now I'm working it. Working that magic. Alright. Let's go ahead and have a little bit of like reflected light coming up here. And let's have the sunlight on the boot there. Good. Good. Alrighty. A lot of you people are saying, oh, it looks like one of you said you're going to watch it later on YouTube. Okay, good, good. I'm glad I didn't give away what the joke of this was yet. I'm glad I didn't give away why Buttons is on an RC car. Oh boy. Woo! Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright. We're just going to continue. We're going to continue. And I do appreciate you guys finishing up your homework and getting everything done that you need to so that way you can take care of the important things, which is to sit your butt down in your chair and watch me do this. Right? It means a lot. It really does. It means a lot that you understand the importance of this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and push Emma's hair to like pretty much this white over here. Is that working correctly? Why is it doing that? I suppose that's working. Alright. Let's put a little bit more subsurface in the hair over here. And let's push the hair to, yeah, that type of color there. And it's looking weird because it's like on top of a green face. Let's go ahead and take care of her skin. Let us take care of the skin. I'm going to go ahead and go dark. I'm going to start dark. See how it looks. See how it makes me feel. Ah, like it. Ooh, I like that right there. That's the skin color. And you'll notice how I'm working I'm not working with masks or anything. I'm just kind of like just kind of having some fun with this, right? Not worrying too much about everything looking perfect. Just having a lot of fun with this one. And it is oh so fun. Should be a little bit more pink. There we go. Oh, nope. We'll have the reflected light kind of coming from beneath here. Let's put a little bit of blush on there. And notice, it's funny because like we did the tutorial yesterday, but this could be technically another KNKL show. I'm talking about stuff. But just pay attention to how I'm using these colors. How I'm not picking colors based on what I think I would see. I'm basing my color selection off of just the relativity, right? It's like, look at this skin color. It's actually like a desaturated kind of yellowish weird color. But because of the relativity to everything that's around it, it looks lively. It looks like it's a skin that's existing within this environment. And I want you guys to really kind of understand that because that's one of the hardest things I think that I had to learn. One of the hardest things that I had to learn just doing art like this. And one of the things that I think that once you grasp it, it really, really helps you out a lot. Yeah, that's good. Put a little bit more red in those ears as well. And I'll do my best to explain those things as I'm going about doing them. Okay, so I like that. That's good. I want a little bit more red in there. So watch what I do. Because I want more red in the cheeks, I'll saturate it just a little bit more and go towards red. And that's what I do. There you go. And I got the cute little rosy red cheeks. Rosy red cheeks. I'm going to actually blow out these pants a little bit more. And what I mean by blow out means it kind of like desaturate and goes more towards white. You know, I think about like the lens. Like I like having like a high amount of contrast between the shadow and the light. I feel like it just adds like an intensity to the light and it looks really, really cool. I'm going to do the same thing on the sweater. Watch what I do here. Just add some extra intensity onto these areas where the light's hitting. See what that's doing? We just went from that to that. Even though it's a small change, small little bit of just extra light, the contrast just helps to show that this is like a bright, sunny, kind of happy day. I like that. I like it. I like it. Let's do the same thing with the boots. You notice it's kind of happening over here with the tree. Look at how much of a contrast there is between this color, right? Let's actually pull it up. This color and this color. Huge contrast. But because we're doing things right, you can get away with that. So let's go ahead and blow out the shoes as well, the boots. And you always want to think about it in terms of this. This always helps me out. It's like, imagine if you were to place the boots next to that tree. Would the boot color be darker or lighter than the tree? And most, like, my guess is the boots would probably be a little bit more saturated and a little bit more lighter than the tree. So by that like train of thinking, you could then argue that, hey, if the tree can blow out to this color, then the boots should be able to blow out to a lighter color. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense? Just by the relativity alone. Just by the law of relativity. The art law of relativity. Theory of relativity. I like it. So yeah, those are all things that really help me out when I'm going about making stuff like that. Alright, so I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and put these together, and let's see. So this is what we were starting with. This is where we are now. So we're starting to kind of drop our characters into our environment. I like that very much. I like that very much. I want to make Emma a little bit more peach colored. So I'm going to drop a little bit more of this kind of peach color into her. A little bit more liveliness to her skin there. And then I kind of scrub back and forth on the history to see kind of where I want to stop it, you know? You don't want too much. You don't want too much. Too much and it kills it. Alright, so let's go back to her hair, because I'm not liking her hair. Her hair's looking kind of strange in some spots. What is going on with the hair? I dare say. I like a little bit of like this, even though it's kind of weird, I like a little bit of this green in her hair. It's actually kind of cool. Let's get those shadows back in there. And let's get the little clip colored. Looks good. Color that little clip. Good. Good. Very good. And let's put that little shine in her hair. Ain't that just precious? And I'll put a little bit of like contrast in the hair too. A little bit of this contrast. God loves me some contrast. That's good. Why not? I'll just leave it like that. I might change it a little later. But for now, it works. So let's go ahead and move on to Nico. Move on to Nico. In fact, I want some heavier contrast here. There we go. Alright, Nico, you're up. So Nico is going to have a dark hoodie, still the same. Kind of retaining the same colors as their base costumes, but I'm just changing what exactly it is that they're wearing. And that's good. Might give Nico like a black hoodie thing. What is this? I did not call for you. Get that crap out of here. No. You know what would really help is to figure out how to never make Adobe Help come up ever again. That would really help a lot. Can you go away? Thanks. I like how you make it go away, and then as soon as you click something, it brings it up again. Like, I've never understood why that happens. But it makes me want to kill. Alright, so let's put like some nice contrast in here. And there we go. It's good. Very good. Put a little bit more saturation in here. Push it more black looking. Yeah, that's good. There we go. And then naturally we're going to have a little bit of red coming from underneath. So let's go like really desaturated red. Just kind of drop that in there a little bit for the ground. In fact, I'm talking about so much, or I'm talking so much about the reflective stuff coming off the ground. Let's go ahead and take care of that right now. That way we know exactly what we're working with. And it is basically this. And it just kind of has a little bit of fall off towards the edges. So let's go ahead and paint that in really quickly, just so we know what we're working with. Like these shadows can't stay green. They're going to have to go a little bit more blue. And I'll show you how I go about doing that to the best of my ability. That's good. Alright, shadow time. Let's go ahead and do some ambient occlusion, peoples. Ambient occlusion, my favorite. My favorite. Because you want to think about the shadows hitting this area, right? They're hitting the gravel, but then the blue of the sky is coming in, it's coloring those shadows, right? So you're going to naturally end up with things, not so much green, but more blue. Okay, so let's color out all those green spots. Make them all more blue. And that will make us all very happy. Get rid of this nasty green. There we go. Now let's paint that stuff out of there. Let's hit the edge of this grass so we can see the nice little cast shadow, or the edge of the grass really cleanly. In fact, I'm going to use a little bit of this like red. That makes a really clean edge there. So we're looking more at that type of thing. That looks good. Oh, and also the park bench. Can't forget the park bench. What hue are we working with here? Okay. So the shadows might be a little bit more looking like that. Yeah, that's better. Slightly lighter. There we go. Now you can see the magic happening. Now you can see the magic. Feel the magic. I'm going to make this shadow a little bit more off this way. And that shadow will be cast like that. Good. And we also have the park bench, which is going to cast a shadow straight across like that. And should actually be colored a little bit more blue. So let's do one of these. There we go. And we'll lighten it up a little bit for ambient occlusion. Brilliant! And we can go ahead and throw in like a little bit of noise over here. A little bit of noise on the grass. We can clean that up later, but for now, that works. Just helps us to remember. Let's have a nice transition through there. Dang, that looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. And with that, I'd say we're doing quite well. Quite well. A little bit more shadow just in that little area there. And now let's clean it up. Let's make sure all these blown out areas are nice and crisp. No more green. Get that green out of here. There we go. Now we're having some nice shadows. And we'll do a quick little comparison after this, just so you can see what we started with and now where we are. You can see the method behind the madness and why I do certain things. Even I can't explain. I love this kind of lighting though, like the splotchy lighting. It's so awesome. Let's put on a little bit more splotchiness. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then since the light is coming from this direction, it's kind of coming down like that. Let's make sure we have our nice cast shadow from the tree coming this way. A nice dark cast shadow coming through this whole entire thing here. Nice deep dark cast shadow. That's what it's all about, people. Some good old cast shadows. That's what we like. That's what the people want. Some nice, good, clean, healthy grass coming all through there. There we go. So yeah, I really want you guys to pay attention to how cool contrast, or what contrast can do for you. All right, the difference between this and this. You know, these two colors side by side create a very, very striking and awesome relationship. You guys should pay attention. Pay attention to that stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and put a little bit of this over here. And ambient occlusion was always a big thing for me. It's like, how do you know what color? It's really, really easy, right? It's really easy. Okay, so look, this is where we were before. And I'll explain this once more. Okay, so we know we have the sun coming from this direction, right? Beating down on our characters. Now, the easiest thing to do is think about two light sources, right? You have these figures basically set on a table, and you have one light shining on them. That's going to create all of their shadows. Now, basically, what color those shadows is going to be determined by the skylight, right? Because as the light gets blocked out from the sun, which is the main light source, the ambient light of the sky will come in. It's basically bouncing from all directions, basically anywhere that it can get to it, and it will create a secondary light, which basically colors those shadows. But because it's so ambient, you're not going to see like two shadows. You're not going to see like two different kinds of shadows, unless it's like a type of shadow where, you know, it's like an ambient shadow, like a character places his or her hand on top of her other hand. You know, you're going to see something like that. But in general, when you're like doing ambient type stuff, it's really, really easy to remember. Okay, well, there's just two things I have to remember. One, what is blocking out the sunlight? And then two, what is the ambient color? What's the color of the sky? If it were more of a sunset, then you would have the blocking of the sun and then the sky, which could be actually more purple. You know, you think about the sunset and be like, ooh, orange shadows, right? But unless the sky is the majority of the sky is orange, it's not going to turn your shadows orange. It'll most likely turn them purple or blue. And if that's not true, then you might as well just do it anyway, because I think it would look cool. But that's an easy way for you to remember how to do shadows. And think about, like, what color is the park bench, right? Park bench is brown, right? So you add blue to brown, and naturally, because, you know, it's like orange, you add blue, it's going to gray it out, right? Because they're complementary colors. So to get the color that you desire, I know that was kind of a lot to take in, but it'll come with practice, right? So you think about what color you're using, then you add the ambient color to it. And if the ambient color, blue, is the opposite of that color, which is brown, which is dark orange, then it's just going to gray it out, right? See? So you'll get something like that. Do you see the amazingness of that? You see how awesome that is? And then as your shadows come in, you can start to saturate a little bit more towards brown if you want. If you must. If you must. Actually, I kind of like it going more towards blue. The blue actually looks nice. Too blue. Too blue. Alright, so again, let's think about the relativity here. What's brighter, the tree stump or the park bench? Well, obviously, I think the park bench is going to be a little bit more of like a treated wood, so therefore we could say that it's a bit lighter than the bark of the tree. So we could easily get away with saying, okay, this bench is blown out, like the light on this bench is blown out so that it's going to create this nice shape behind our characters, and we can get away with that, right? We can get away with having this color right next to this color. And you can be like, oh, okay, well, that's the shadow. That's the shadow that's creating that. And we can put in a little bit more ambient light. You notice how the ambient light is gray? Look at that. The ambient light that is going onto the bench is going to make it gray because they are complementary colors. Blue and brown, right? Which is dark orange. In case you didn't get that the first time. Alright, so continuing. Let's continue with this. This part of the park bench is probably going to be a little bit more close to the local color, like the actual color, because you're having the reflected light, not so much the sunlight here, but you're having the reflected light off the ground hitting it. So this is where we'll start to see a little bit more of the true color of the bench. The true colors. Your true colors have shown. Alright. I'm going to put a little bit of a transition there. A little bit of saturation between the shadows and the light. I always like that. Always creates a nice little feeling there. And let's go ahead and I'm gonna throw in like some stretch shadows, like, because I don't want these to all be like perfect. I want there to be like a little, you know, because we're working with speckle light, right? So it'd be natural to say, okay, well, there would probably be like a couple lights kind of peeking through here, a couple lights kind of reaching through and lighting this bench. Isn't that cool? Isn't that clever? It's clever stuff. Clever stuff. Alright. So now that we've got a little bit more of our ambient stuff done, let's go ahead and move on to good old Nico. Nico! My dog is not happy. My dog is not very happy right now. I have no idea what he's barking at. Probably the UPS guy. Alrighty. That looks oh so lovely. We've come a long way, actually. Let's go ahead and take a look at where we started again. So we were here at the beginning. No, wait. We were here at the very beginning, even before the show. This is with just the gradient map over top of the gray. Oh yeah, I didn't show you how I started this. I started with gray, right? I laid out this entire picture, and the reason why I like doing this is for this type of picture, I wanted to kind of focus a lot more on lighting, right? I wanted to start with lighting, and I wanted to focus on like the speckle lighting and like just make sure the silhouettes of the characters were reading in relation to what's behind them. You'll notice, okay, well, you got these silhouettes of these characters walking. If you place this bench behind them, I almost want you to think about it in terms of design, right? Let's take a quick look at this. I'm going to draw over this really quickly. We're going to be examining the little that I know about designing and just trying out a couple things. So you have the characters existing here, right? And you have their clean silhouettes against this shape right here, right? This nice bright box. That's all that this bench is representing here. You'll notice how the characters are not straight in the middle of the picture, but they're placed a little bit to the side, right? Experimenting with a little bit more of the thirds, rule of thirds. All right? And you'll notice Buttons, even though his silhouette is being darkened by the cast shadow of this tree up here, right? It's casting the shadow onto Buttons, and you have a little bit of speckle lighting happening. But you'll notice that the shape of his head is kept very intact and silhouetted by the background, right? Because there's light hitting all of the leaves in the trees behind him, right? And this can all be set up to however you want it to be. You know, you can set up a bunch of leaves or a branch that would catch a bunch of light here, so that way we can clearly see Buttons, right? Even the light that's being caught. That's what he's barking at. He's barking at a cat. All of the light that's being caught right here also helps to push this silhouette, right? Because if we just had dark, if we had this dark color and then it was dark here, you know, you'd squint your eyes and it'd still be kind of hard to see Buttons. But because of this, you squint your eyes and you're like, oh, okay, I can clearly see that thing that's happening there. Same thing with Nico. We have this bright shape behind here, and that's functioning to bring out Nico's silhouette. And that makes us oh so happy. So that was basically what went into the beginning designs of, you know, what made me want to make this. Okay, so moving on, we have our black and white thing, we have our lights set up, we have our silhouettes to a point where we're happy with them. Then I went ahead and threw on the gradient map, and I chose my colors just according to, okay, well, what's the majority, what's the biggest color that's existing here? What's going to be a good color to build off of? And I decided it would be the grass, because it's highly abundant. I mean, the trees are going to be there. I was looking at the, you know, the picture I was basing this off of, and it's like, okay, well, there's a ton of green. I can easily just start like accenting in the shadows and the lights on the tree here. There's a little bit of brown on the path and the, you know, the park benches and stuff. Most of it is green, and then I can throw in the sky. So naturally, that's what I did. I took that, and then I started adding in those hues. You'll notice how I added in all those nice warm colors on the trunk of the tree. And then I pushed the background colors a little bit more blue. And then all of the greens and things like this color up here, this hasn't changed. Well, like most of the grass has not changed because that's what I use the gradient map for. And I allowed the computer to do all the work for me because I'm nice and lazy like that. And it always does a better job than I do with blending colors. So then we go ahead and move on to the ground. We kind of clean up the ground and we decide, we figure out, okay, well, where's the sun hitting? What's blocking it? And then we allow the ambience of the sky to color those shadows. In this case, they are going to be colored blue. And another really cool way to think about this is imagine if for some reason the sky or the sun was eliminated and it was just the sky that lit everything. And you want to think about it almost as if, you know, what would the world look like if it was just a very, very subtle blue light? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like if none of the sunlight existed, what would this picture look like if it was just a very subtle blue light on top of everything? And that is the color that your shadows are going to be, because that's just the way it works. You know what I mean? That's a cool way that I kind of like to think about it. Is you're basically seeing what the world would look like without the sun, wherever the shadow is. All right, and then we're moving on to the character colors. Here we're adding in, you know, I think it's cool that Emma kind of has like a warm colored, you know, hoodie on because it'll really draw our eyes there because it's the only warm, really warm color on this piece. All right, we're gonna go right straight to her, and then Nico will also have like a bright bandana, and Buttons will have like his fur. I'll probably add some warmth to his fur or whatever. So these are all things that you like to think about, and they will make you very happy. Yes. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and continue with Nico, and we got about 5-10 minutes left, and then I'm going to go ahead and open the chat to questions, because we know how much I love questions. We'll do that and have a good day and all those things. Alright, so let's continue with this. Let's go ahead and take care of Nico. So Nico has a little bit more tan skin. And naturally, I'm just going to push it a little bit darker. I'll push his skin a little bit darker. Just kind of pay attention. Like, I kind of like to lay it down, like, just slowly. And just pay attention to the relationships that happen when I mix this red with this green. Because then I'll be like, ooh, well, I kind of like what's happening in here. I kind of want to preserve a little bit of that. You know, keep this red up in the cheeks. And this can be the reflected light coming up from here. All right? Just kind of feel free to experiment and have fun with it. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and throw in our light here. All right. And I want to tell you guys that lately, Deebs and I have been working exclusively on the 2634 rule. In fact, today, like right now, this is the first time I'm actually breaking the 2634 rule. And for those of you who don't know what that is, the 2634 rule is working less than you rest. You work for 26 minutes and then you rest for 34. And that is an amazing tool that I have been using with my work lately. And it's really been allowing me to relax and enjoy my work and not get burnt out. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too much into it because I've already had a bunch of videos explaining what it is. And if you're really curious about it, you can go check it out for yourself. And yeah, learn about it. Learn about it and use it because it's awesome. I love 2634 in my day. My day. Alright, let's go ahead and get Nico's hair colored in here. Oh, tangent right there. Let's eliminate that immediately. There we go. Coloring in his hair. I like a little bit of that kind of green staying in there. That looks cool. It's awesome. And let's go ahead and throw in the highlights now. I actually decided to make Nico's hair just slightly more dark than when I originally introduced him. He kind of had like kind of lighter brown hair, and in the latest issue, his hair got slightly darker. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I decided to make his hair a little bit darker. And so far, I've been digging it. Alright, so let's put a little bit of that on there. A little bit of that on there. Cool. Looks good. Looks good. Alright, now let's go ahead and throw in the bandana. Bandana. Start with a nice dark color there. Throw that in. We're going to have a lot of light hitting these areas here. So let's go ahead and prep those. Cool. Now let's go ahead and throw in the lights. I want Nico's bandana to almost take on like an orange tint where the light's hitting it. I think that'll look really nice. Yeah, it looks good. Now think about the shadow that's being cast from this. So we're going to go down like that and add in one of those type of things. I'll probably push this a little bit more purpley, right? Because you want to think about ambient. Ambience mixed with the color, right? So we're going to get a little bit more purple like that. There you go. Good stuff. Ambient color mixed in there. Looking good. Looking good. I still need to fix Emma's hair, though. I'm not liking that hair completely. Not sold on it. Okay, that looks really good. I like it. Let's go ahead and color the eyes really quick. What color do I want the eyes to be? Maybe I'll make them like the ambient color. Probably just do that. Make them kind of blue. Looks pretty good. Make them just slightly darker. Yeah, that looks nice. I like that. Alright, time to color the fingers. The fingers. That looks good. Let's color the little joystick pad thing. I'm just going to grab this dark color over here because I like it. And let's throw it down. Throw it down on the ground. Antenna. And let's put a little bit of that ambient color there. We go. I think that's just super nice. I don't like how blue that is. I don't like it. Alright, now I'm actually going to blow out Nico's bandana even further. I'm going to blow it out to like this orange. Do I like that? Might be a little much. Well, let's go for instead more something like that. There we go. Put a little bit more of that in there. Yeah, that's not bad. It's okay. I don't know, there's something I'm still not liking about it. Can't put my finger on it though. Emma's hair needs to be basically straight up white because of all the sun that's hitting it. So let's go ahead and throw that in there. Whoa! That actually looks green. That's so weird. So weird how it looks green to me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fiddle around with this hair, figure out what I want it to do. Maybe what it is I just need more contrast. I think that's what it is. It needs more contrast. So let's go ahead and give it like let's give it like a deep contrast here. Like let's have like a cast shadow coming off the ear there, and we'll have like we'll start it here. So we'll start it like this, and then let's subsurface it out. I think that'll give me what I'm looking for. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and lighten that up a little bit. Lighten that up. And I think that gives me what I want. Yeah, that's better. I just needed more contrast. That was all I needed. More contrast on the hair, please. It's amazing what that'll do for you. Amazing! Amazing! Alright, and with that said, I'm going to add a little bit more contrast to the skin. Skin! There we go. A little bit more contrast on Nico's skin, too. It's time to get contrasty. That's right, I said it. Contrasty! Okay, that looks amazing. That looks amazing. I love it. Love it. Alright, let's go ahead and finish up with Nico's pants, because you need to give him some actual pants going on there, so he doesn't look like he's like wearing those lime green raver pants, because nobody likes those. Sorry, guys. Nobody really likes those. Unless you're at a rave. Don't wear them unless you're at a rave, please. I don't want to see that. Of course, who am I to talk? I wear freaking gym shorts all the time. Wearing gym shorts. I go to the bank, I go outside, I go to eat. All I got is like these high school gym shorts on. And I'm probably one of the least active people you'll ever meet in your life. So, yeah. Well, except on Saturday, because that's when I go disco skating. But other than that, I am right in this chair, and I'm making art. And yeah, I like it. Alright, I'm going to give Nico like his tan pants. Straight up tan pants. Cool. Let's add a little bit of blue into this too. A little bit of blue into those pants. And let's blow them the frig out. Boom! Actually, that looks a little disturbing. Let's go a little bit more towards that. Cool! Alright, I actually want a little bit more blue in his... A little bit more blue in these. That's better. That's more like it. Got a little bit of that in there. Some reflected light. It's looking good. And let's color his belt. Let's color that little belty thing there. And that looks good. Okay, now let's go ahead and color the boots as well. Gotta give him his proper boots. There we go. Let's make the shadows nice and dark on these. Nice and dark. Yeah. There we go. So we're looking pretty good now. I'm liking that a lot. So I hope that you guys have been paying attention to just the way I've been selecting colors, how I haven't really been relying on picking the exact color that I want. I'm just more thinking in terms of, okay, this is where I'm at right now, and this is the effect I'm trying to achieve, so I will pick this color, right? You want to pick colors in terms of effects that you're trying to achieve, as opposed to, okay, this bandana is red, must paint red. Must paint straight red, you know? That will only work for so long. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Hang on. Well, you also got to take into account, you know, like materials and all that stuff. So, you know, it could actually look red like this. Yeah, okay, all right, I do like that. Okay, so if that's the case, maybe I need to bring these pants down a little bit too. So I hope that you understand that I don't know exactly what I'm talking about all the time, and that experimentation is always going to be your friend. Experimentation will always yield you cool results. Don't just do it because I say to do it. There we go. And I'd say really feel free to experiment with playing with those high contrast areas, high contrast color palettes, and just different types of interesting things, you know? Different types of interesting color mixes is what I'm trying to get at here. Alright, let's go ahead and take care of that. Don't like that at all. Let's keep it pink. Keep it pink! There we go. Oh, and also, because of the reflected light, we're going to have a little bit of that pink going into the hair. Ah! You like that, don't ya? Reflected light. Reflected light is always the boss. Reflected light tells you what to do. Don't mistake it. Alright guys, I think it's time for some question catapults. So anything that you have written down, as you should have written down in your fancy schmancy journal, fancy schmancy notebook, please ask the question, and then I will answer it, and you can write it down and keep it for time and all eternity in your wealth of knowledge that you have accrued, called your journal. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more life into Nico's skin here, from the reflections coming from beneath him, as well as Emma's skin. Man, this has been fun. I can't wait to work. I'm going to keep working on this like throughout the night, probably. Having a lot of fun with it. I'm enjoying myself very well. Very well. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and take those away. So we've gone from that to that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, peoples! Now we just have buttons left. Buttons is left. Catapults. Rodrigo Garcia is asking, your brushes, where can we find them? Alright, so many people are asking this question. I need to show you. So hold on one moment. There's a way. I have shared my brushes with everyone. And you can access them by going to my DeviantArt page located here. Okay, so once you arrive to DeviantArt, all you have to do is simply click on my gallery, which is right here. Browse gallery. And then you will happen upon a picture of Emma's face right here. And note the title. It says My Brushes. Click it, and then you'll be presented with the awesome thing, a picture, and download file, right? And I say in the upper right. Maybe that's why nobody can find it. Jeez. Alright, let me fix that really quick. It is in the lower right. Lower right. Okay, so it's updated, so no more excuses. You should be able to find my brushes, everybody. 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 Okay. Oh, no. Alright, looks like I'll have to just go back and do that again. But you know where it is now. So yes, my brushes are available for everyone to purchase for free and use to their heart's content. And yeah, a lot of these brushes I'm actually using from my days at Riot. I had some of my awesome coworkers share their brushes with me. Prior to that, I was like, I don't need brushes. I can make my own, right? And all I used was the little, the freaking soft round and hard round brushes. I was like, I'm a purist. I don't need any of that stuff. And yet I'm working digitally, you know? I don't know what kind of sense of awesomeness that gave me, but it was definitely unfounded, and it definitely was wasting a lot of time. So I got over that, and now I'm using real texture brushes, and they are awesome. I love them. I love them oh so much. Alrighty, people. Okay. Paul Eckert is asking, can you do the entire Thoughtful Thursday with both brothers? I think it would be pretty funny. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I have a little brother named Deebs, and he joins me from time to time on the daily, and we have a good time whenever he does join us. And lately I have been doing Thoughtful Thursdays, and yeah, that would be kind of cool for him to join us. I don't know if he would be willing to sit for the entire hour, but I could ask him. We'll see what happens with that. Alright guys, with that, I'm going to end day 47? Was it 47? I hope it was. Of the KNKL Emma stream, whatever Wednesdays. Thank you guys once again for joining me live on Ustream. For those of you on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. I'll see you tomorrow. We are going to be exploring our thoughts about life and the universe, thinking about things, and all that good stuff. So you guys take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.